What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's RealTutsGML here, back with another Game Maker tutorial. And today what we're going to be learning is how to create power-ups, right? So here I went ahead and put together a little platformer game. And basically, you just go left and right here, and these things fall out of the sky every 15 seconds. And these are going to be the power-ups that we actually collect. Now, you can add anything to your game, and it's really hard to create a tutorial, because power-ups can be so specific to your game. Do you want... it's incredible on how many things you can actually do with power-ups. I'm just going to be going over the basics in this video. So, how to have a power-up that increases your speed or your jump height or stuff like that. But I mean, you can go all the way to, being able to shoot your gun faster, to growing super huge. So it's really, I might make multiple parts. Let me know if you guys want multiple parts, but this is just going to be the basics of power-ups here. So I went ahead and I created the player here. So in the step event, I just have some code, gravity, and then the moving capabilities there, and then with our block, just some collision code with our block. Our block I just made solid, and the power-up, I just made fall, and when it hits the ground to stop. So it's very basic stuff. And then I made a spawner that I put in the room, just is on an alarm, and then when the alarm hits, then it just creates a power-up. This is stuff you shouldn't need in your game, or you should already have done, so I'm not really going to go over that too much today. So let's go ahead and go with our power-up. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, in the create event of our player, I'm actually going to set up some variables because we're going to want to change these variables, right? So I'm going to say SBD, which equals speed, or stands for speed. I'm going to say equals 5. And I'm also going to say jump underscore height equals 10. Now, these are going to be the variables that I use just for the moving. Now, again, you can do fire rate, all of that fun stuff. Size. So what I'm also going to do now is actually create something called norm speed. And this is going to equal speed. And make sure that you do this below your speed, because code gets compiled top to bottom. So if you put this above the speed, it's not going to recognize the speed variable. And then I'm also going to say norm jump equals jump height. And the reason I'm doing this is because when we actually reset our power up, we're not going to know the actual values that we had. And so then we could just call these, so these are always going to equal our beginning values, because we will be changing these. All right. So there we go. So now let's go ahead and create a script. And I'm going to call this execute power. And in here, I'm going to say speed equals argument 0. Jump height equals argument 1. And then I'm also going to say power life equals argument 2. And then with other, instance destroy. And on top of here, do 3 forward slashes, retype your script name perfectly, and then in here put speed, jump height, if I can spell it today, and the power life. And what this basically does right here, the three forward slashes, and then saying this perfectly, is in here we're basically describing what we need to put in those parameters. So when we go to actually execute the script, it's all going to be laid out for us right here. And I'll show you that in a second if you don't quite get it. This is just something handy. You don't need that. You don't need this, okay? And then I'm also going to create a script, and this is going to be called reset power. And here all we're going to do is we're going to say speed equals norm speed, and jump height equals norm jump. And again, these are variables that we have. You might have a laundry list of variables that you might want to change. So this is why we're putting into a script, so it can be easily rewritten, and because this could be 40, 50 variables deep in your game, and that's fine. Alright, so in our player, I'm just going to do collision with our power up. And all I'm going to say is execute power. And as you can see right down here, it says speed, jump height, and power life. That's the description that I was talking about that we set up here. So in here, I'm just going to say our speed is then going to equal 10. Our jump height is going to equal, we will say 10. So we'll just do the, we'll just say alter the speed here. So in this case, we can just put norm jump because we want it to stay the same. And then power life can equal, we'll say 60. Or no, we'll say 120. So 4 seconds. So actually, there is something that we need to do with this actually. So let's go to the execute power script one more time. And in here, we just need to return power life at the very end there. And so what we can do is in our power up, we can just set alarm 0 to equal that. So alarm 0 is going to equal 120 is what we're basically saying. If you know anything about scripting, just basically we're making this script the value of 120, and that's why we're setting alarm 0 to that. Alright, so now in alarm 0, all we need to say is reset power. And I actually went ahead and in the step event just made, you know, the speed variables and jump height actually do something. So if we go ahead and run the game now, as you can see, here's our guy, you know, not too cool, you know, just going around. But then boom, when you hit this, he now goes very fast, and then when the power up goes out, then he resets and is now back to his normal state. So we can even go with doing stuff like, all right, let's say this is norm speed, so we won't do anything with that, but let's set our jump height to 20. So this power up is going to give us super jump height. So we go, so here's our normal jump height, we get the power up, boom, so now we're jumping like a frog here. So there we go. Go and like, go and subscribe, and then you can see it depleted right there. So go and like, go and subscribe. Tell me if you want another part of this, because there is so many things you can do with power-ups, but you should get the gist of what I just did here. So leave a like, go and subscribe. Let's try for 70 likes this time, and I will see you guys next time. Alright, peace.